hug. It seems so simple, right? Two people, two arms, quick squeeze, done. But what if I told you that a hug could be so much more? What if I told you that in that one moment you could leave someone thinking about you long after they've walked away? See, most people treat a hug like a formality, but you, after today, you won't. Because you're going to learn how to respond to a hug in a way that creates chemistry, connection, and leaves an impression that lingers. When it comes to creating a lasting impression through something as seemingly simple as a hug, the first principle is to match the energy of the hug. This may sound obvious, but it is where most people go wrong. A hug is a non-verbal exchange of emotional energy. If you are not attuned to what the other person is expressing through their hug, you risk sending the wrong signal, one that either feels disconnected or overwhelming. Matching their energy is about reading the room, reading them, and responding accordingly. Imagine this. Someone you like approaches you for a hug, but they come in softly, hesitantly, perhaps unsure at the moment. If you respond with an overly enthusiastic, tight squeeze, it can feel jarring. On the other hand, if someone pulls you in confidently, warmly, and you respond with a limp, half-hearted embrace, you've just missed an opportunity to mirror their enthusiasm and create a sense of synchrony. People naturally feel more connected to those who mirror their body language and emotional tone. Matching energy in a hug is a direct and immediate way to build that connection. It starts with awareness. The moment you see the hug coming, pay attention to their body language. How quickly are they moving toward you? How open are their arms? Is their expression soft and warm, or playful and excited? Is this a casual, friendly hug, or something with a bit more intimacy? All of these are cues that tell you how much emotional energy they are putting into the moment. Your job is to attune to it and meet it. The second component of matching energy is physical. Pressure matters. If they offer a light, brief embrace, don't counter with a bear hug. If they pull you in with warmth and hold you for a moment, reciprocate with equal presence. This isn't about copying them exactly, but rather complementing the tone they are setting. Think of it like a dance. They make a move and you respond in harmony. This gives the hug a feeling of mutual understanding, which is what makes it memorable. Breath and body tension are subtle elements here. A person who is relaxed in their hug will often breathe naturally and maintain a soft body. If you tense up or hold your breath, it will break the flow of the moment. Pay attention to your own physical state and let yourself soften as needed to match theirs. This communicates comfort and emotional availability on a subconscious level. Finally, timing matters. Matching the length of the hug is part of matching its energy. If they hold on for an extra beat, be comfortable holding on too. If they pull away quickly, respect that rhythm. The synchronicity you create by matching their tempo is what leaves them with the subtle impression that you get them. Without a word being spoken, being fully present in the moment is one of the most powerful ways to transform an ordinary hug into a deeply meaningful connection. In a world where people are often distracted, thinking about what they're going to say next, checking their phones, or mentally rushing to the next task, presence is a rare and magnetic quality. When you are fully present during a hug, the other person feels it instantly. They sense that your attention isn't divided, that you are truly there with them, and that this moment matters to you. Presence begins with your mindset. Before the hug even happens, remind yourself to slow down and be conscious of the experience. Let go of other thoughts, whether it's how you look, what just happened, or what might happen next. When you clear mental clutter, you create space to genuinely connect. This subtle shift changes your entire energy, and people pick up on it without needing to understand why. During the hug, tune in to the physical sensations. Notice the warmth of the other person's body, the way their arms wrap around you, the rhythm of their breathing. Feel your feet on the ground and your own breath moving in and out. These simple sensory details help anchor you in the present. The more grounded you are in your body, the more present you will feel, and the more present you will appear. Eye contact before and after the hug also plays a key role in conveying presence. If you meet someone's gaze softly without rushing or looking away, it signals that you are open and engaged. It shows that you see them not just as someone passing through your day, but as someone worth pausing for. This moment of shared eye contact creates a bridge to a deeper connection, setting the stage for the hug to have more emotional weight. Your emotional state also influences your level of presence. If you feel nervous or self-conscious, it can be tempting to mentally escape the moment, but presence requires embracing whatever you're feeling with openness and curiosity. Rather than fighting discomfort, acknowledge it internally and choose to stay engaged. This willingness to stay with the experience, not to retreat into your head, makes your presence feel authentic and grounded. It's important to understand that presence isn't about performance. You're not trying to appear present. You are choosing to be present. When this shift happens, your body language naturally aligns, your movements become smoother, your touch more intentional, and your energy more inviting. The other person will feel this, often without knowing exactly why they felt so connected during a simple hug. Breath is another subtle but powerful tool. Taking a slow, conscious breath before and during the hug can help center you and signal calm energy. When you breathe naturally and fully, it encourages the other person to do the same, creating a shared sense of ease and comfort. This mutual relaxation deepens the connection and makes the hug feel more genuine. Lastly, listen with your body. A hug is a silent conversation. The way someone leans in, the way they hold you, and the subtle shifts in their body language all communicate how they're feeling in that moment. When you're fully present, you can attune to these cues and respond in a way that makes the other person feel truly seen and understood. Controlling the release of a hug is a subtle but powerful way to leave a lasting impression. Most people focus on the beginning of a hug, how to initiate it, how much pressure to use, but few think about how to end it. Yet it is often the way a hug ends that determines how the other person feels about the interaction as a whole. Ending a hug slightly slower than expected introduces a moment of warmth and intention that lingers in the other person's mind long after you part. To understand why this works, it's important to consider human psychology. We tend to remember the beginnings and endings of experiences most vividly. This is known as the peak end rule. If the release of your hug feels rushed or abrupt, it can make the entire experience feel transactional, even if the hug itself was pleasant. On the other hand, if the release is slow and deliberate, it communicates care, presence, and emotional depth, qualities that people are naturally drawn to and remember. The key is subtlety. You don't want the slower release to feel forced or exaggerated. Instead, it should feel like a natural extension of your presence in the moment. As you sense the other person beginning to loosen their embrace, resist the urge to pull away immediately. Instead, maintain contact for just a beat longer than they expect. This tiny pause creates a sense of intentionality, signaling that you valued the moment and are reluctant to let it go completely. This technique also allows you to communicate additional layers of meaning. A hug that ends too quickly can suggest disinterest or emotional distance, even if that wasn't your intention. A hug that lingers just slightly conveys warmth, connection, and often a hint of longing or affection. The beauty of this is that it works across a range of contexts, from romantic to platonic, because it's about honoring the emotional tone of the moment rather than imposing one. Breath can help guide the release. If you stay attuned to your breathing and the other person's, you can often sense the natural rhythm of the hug. As you both begin to inhale or exhale in sync, you'll feel when the moment is ready to transition. Allow your exhale to coincide with the gentle loosening of your embrace. This creates a seamless and organic flow out of the hug, reinforcing the sense of connection rather than breaking it abruptly. Your hands and arms also play an important role. As you begin to release, let your hands glide lightly over the person's back or arm instead of dropping them away quickly. This simple gesture maintains a sense of warmth and softness through the end of the hug. It also provides a tactile memory for the other person, a physical reminder of the connection that can linger far beyond the actual moment. Eye contact after the release further amplifies this effect. By meeting their gaze softly as you part, you anchor the emotional resonance of the hug in their memory. It's a non-verbal way of saying, "I see you, I valued this moment with you," without needing to speak a word. This layered experience of presence and care is what keeps you on someone's mind long after the embrace has ended. Using subtle touch cues during a hug can significantly enhance the emotional impact of the moment and help you stay on someone's mind. Touch is one of the most powerful non-verbal forms of communication, capable of conveying warmth, comfort, attraction, and affection without the need for words. When used thoughtfully, subtle touches can add depth to an embrace and create a lasting sensory memory for the other person. The first principle to understand is that less is often more. Subtlety is key because you want the touch to feel natural, unforced, and in harmony with the emotional tone of the hug. Overdoing it can make the interaction feel awkward or invasive, which is the opposite of what you want to achieve. The goal is to enhance the connection, not distract from it. One of the simplest and most effective touch cues involves the hand. During a hug, many people simply rest their hands flat on the other person's back or arms. While this is perfectly fine, adding a gentle, slow movement can transform the experience. For example, a light, slow stroke of your hand along their upper or mid-back during the hug communicates a sense of tenderness and attentiveness. It sends the message that you are present and engaged, not just going through the motions. Another subtle cue involves the arms. Instead of holding stiffly, allow your arms to gently adjust or tighten slightly during the embrace. This dynamic movement signals responsiveness and attunement, making the hug feel more alive and emotionally rich. A soft squeeze partway through the hug, followed by a gradual loosening, can add a natural rhythm that deepens the feeling of connection. Touch cues can also be used when initiating or releasing the hug. A light touch on the person's upper arm or shoulder just before moving in for the hug can signal your intention and invite closeness. This pre-hug touch sets a tone of warmth and consideration. Similarly, a light touch on the arm or a gentle trailing of your fingers as you release the hug extends the moment of connection and leaves a lingering impression. It's important to match these cues to the context of your relationship with the person. What feels appropriate and meaningful in a romantic context may not be suitable in a professional or casual setting. The key is to read the situation and the other person's body language carefully. If they lean in warmly and reciprocate touch cues, you can mirror that openness. If they seem more reserved, keep your touch light and respectful. Timing and pacing also matter. Rushing through touch cues can make them feel mechanical or insincere. Instead, let each movement flow naturally from the rhythm of the hug. Pay attention to the person's breathing and body tension. These subtle signals will guide you in knowing when to apply a touch cue and when to simply hold the space with presence. Ultimately, subtle touch cues work because they engage the sense of touch in a conscious and intentional way. Humans are wired to remember tactile experiences, especially those that evoke positive emotions. By using your hands and arms with care and sensitivity during a hug, you create a layered experience that resonates on both an emotional and physical level. This depth of connection is what lingers in the other person's memory and keeps you on their mind. Maintaining eye contact after a hug is a simple yet profoundly impactful way to deepen the emotional resonance of the moment. It is often overlooked because people tend to feel vulnerable or shy immediately after physical closeness. However, it is precisely this moment of vulnerability that creates the perfect opportunity to forge a stronger connection and stay on someone's mind long after the interaction is over. The moments following a hug are emotionally charged. The physical closeness has already softened the barriers between you and the other person. There is a natural openness and receptivity that lingers in the seconds after the embrace ends. Most people instinctively look away, down, or to the side, breaking this fragile moment of connection. When you instead choose to meet the other person's gaze, you signal confidence, presence, and emotional availability. Eye contact after a hug communicates that you are comfortable with intimacy, both physical and emotional. It shows that you are not afraid to be seen, nor to truly see the other person. This openness is magnetic because it creates a sense of safety and authenticity. In a world where many interactions are rushed or superficial, this brief but powerful exchange of eye contact stands out and leaves a lasting impression. The key to effective post-hug eye contact is the quality of your gaze. It should be soft, warm, and relaxed, not intense or overly focused. The goal is to convey genuine interest and care, not to create pressure or discomfort. A gentle smile can further soften your expression and make the other person feel at ease. This combination of eye contact and a subtle smile creates a moment of shared emotion that reinforces the connection built during the hug. Timing matters as well. You do not need to hold the gaze for a long time. Just a few seconds of meaningful eye contact are enough to create the desired impact. Holding it too long can feel confrontational, while too brief a glance may miss the opportunity to deepen the moment. The sweet spot lies in meeting their eyes, allowing the connection to register, and then moving naturally into the next part of the interaction. It is also important to attune to the other person's response. If they meet your gaze and smile back, you have successfully created a moment of mutual connection. If they seem uncomfortable or look away quickly, respect their boundaries and allow the moment to pass gracefully. The goal is always to enhance the connection, not to force it. Eye contact after a hug can also serve as a bridge to further interaction. It invites conversation, warmth, and continued engagement. Whether the setting is romantic, friendly, or even professional, this small gesture communicates that you are present and invested in the relationship. It helps to solidify the emotional tone you've established and leaves the other person with a vivid memory of your interaction. Ultimately, maintaining eye contact after a hug leverages the natural emotional openness that follows physical closeness. It is a subtle but powerful way to anchor the connection you have created, making the moment more memorable and leaving a deeper imprint on the other person's mind. Pairing a hug with a genuine compliment or playful comment is a simple yet highly effective way to elevate the interaction and ensure that you stay on someone's mind long after the moment has passed. Words, when used thoughtfully in conjunction with physical gestures, add an extra layer of emotional resonance. They give the other person something to think about, to replay in their mind, which extends the emotional impact of the hug beyond its physical duration. The key is authenticity. A compliment or playful comment should feel spontaneous and sincere, not rehearsed or manipulative. People are highly attuned to the tone and intention behind words, especially in moments of vulnerability like after a hug. If what you say feels forced or disingenuous, it can undo the warmth created by the physical interaction. On the other hand, a well-timed, heartfelt comment can make the experience unforgettable. Choosing the right type of comment depends on the nature of your relationship with the person. In a romantic context, a soft, affectionate compliment such as "you give the best hugs" or "I could stay right here all day" can deepen intimacy and spark attraction. In a friendly or casual setting, a playful remark like "you're going to make me addicted to your hugs" or "you always know how to make my day better" keeps the tone light and engaging while still conveying warmth. Timing is crucial. The ideal moment to deliver your comment is either just before the hug ends or immediately after. This ensures that the words are anchored to the physical and emotional experience of the hug. Saying something too late can feel disconnected, while saying it during the hug can sometimes be muffled or missed. A soft-spoken comment as you gently pull away or as you meet their gaze afterward creates a seamless transition from touch to words. Tone of voice also plays a significant role. Your delivery should match the emotional tone of the hug. If the hug was tender and warm, your voice should be soft and gentle. If the hug was playful or energetic, a light-hearted tone enhances the mood. The alignment between your physical gestures, words, and vocal tone creates a cohesive experience that feels natural and memorable. It's also valuable to personalize your comment. Generic compliments can feel forgettable. When you tailor your words to something specific about the person or the moment, it shows that you are truly present and paying attention. For example, noticing their warmth, scent, or the way they made you feel during the hug adds a layer of intimacy and personal connection that generic words cannot achieve. A playful comment, in particular, can be highly effective in creating a sense of shared experience. Humor fosters bonding and makes interactions more memorable. It also creates a relaxed atmosphere, making future interactions more comfortable and inviting. When done well, a playful remark can linger in the other person's mind, making them smile long after the hug is over. Ultimately, pairing a hug with a genuine compliment or playful comment reinforces the emotional message you want to convey. It bridges the physical and verbal dimensions of communication, ensuring that the other person not only felt good in the moment, but also carries that positive feeling with them afterward.